Hey loves, so if you are watching this live, today is Armed Forces Day, and I just want to take a second to thank those who protect and serve our country. I do not downplay the sacrifices that you make for those of us to maintain our freedoms here in the United States. And in case you do not know this, my dad is military. He was Army for a few years, and I also have several other military family members, aunts, uncles, cousins who are Army or Air Force or Navy. And fun fact, I did ROTC in high school and realized that I'm completely not about that military life. So, the reason why I bring up Armed Forces Day, other than just honoring the men and women who serve our country, is because I wanted to talk about the fact that I really feel like most of us do not do as good of a job as we could be when it comes to serving others in our relationships. Oftentimes, when women come to me for help with dating and relationship advice, they focus on all the things that they want out of a relationship. They focus on all the things that they want someone to provide for them. And here's the thing, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. You should definitely be clear on what your wants and needs are. However, that being said, you should also be willing to serve the other person. One, it's just the nice thing to do. But also, if you talk to someone who their career is dedicated to service, so I'm talking about your military members, talking about law enforcement, first responders, even teachers, those who work in the healthcare industry, they will tell you all the time they find themselves in dangerous situations. They spend a long period of time away from home. They work long hours. It's incredibly stressful. But they do it day in and day out because the reward of helping others is so great. They feel so great about being able to be of service and knowing that they've made a difference in someone's life. And if you're watching right now and you are in one of those categories where you do a career in which you're of service to someone, thank you so much. And also hop in the comments and let me know. That being said, when you help others and you give, you feel so much better about yourself. One, that translates to you having more love into your life because everyone knows if you're a Christian, the favorite Bible verse that preachers love to use at offering time, give and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You know, that applies when it comes to things more than just money. I just want to make that clear that yes, money is nice, but also your time is important as well. So when you give to others, you end up feeling better about yourself. That makes you feel good. And when you feel good, you look better, you feel more confident, you become more attractive because of that. But also you get more love into your life in exchange for doing that. So with that in mind, I want to talk about 3 ways in which you can be of more service to the people in your life that you love, and how you can be of service to people that you are already in relationship with, and also when you're dating, something that you need to consider as you go out on dates so that you can attract a better quality partner. And I want to make a disclaimer here. When you give love, you should be getting it in return. Selfish love is toxic. So if you're constantly giving and you're not getting anything back, that's called a toxic relationship. And please leave. You have my permission to do it if you need permission, but you should leave. That being said, 3 ways to be of more service in a relationship. Number 1, talk less, listen more. Some of you have no problem with this. Some of you are like me. You love to talk. You love to engage in conversation. You've always been an extrovert, so it's easy for you to just get out there and have conversations. And it can be really hard to sometimes just shut up and to listen to what the other person is saying. But it is so important. First of all, listening shows that you care. Listening shows that you understand. And listening shows that you value the other person's time. And there's something incredibly attractive and sexy about that. So make sure that you are doing a good job of listening to the other person's needs and wants. because when you do that, you become way more attractive in a relationship. Number two is being present. And I see this all the time. Raise your hand, let me know in the comments if you also see this. You go out to a restaurant and you're looking around, you see two people at a table, and they're both on their phones the entire time. I have been out in places and I've seen people stand next to each other and be on their phones texting each other. Like, seriously, go home. Sorry, I have a little flashback and a little rant about that. Go home. If you are out with someone, be present. Take the time to, again, really listen and make sure you're listening well by getting rid of the distractions. And for those of you who are going to tell me something like, hey, Keisha, I have an important job, or I have kids, so my phone has to constantly be on all the time. Lies. Just complete and total lies. Here's the thing. I have an iPhone, so I can only talk about iPhones, but I'm sure Android has a similar feature. There's a feature called Do Not Disturb. When you put it on, it doesn't allow phone calls and text messages to go through to your phone. You can set it so that it only rings when someone who is on your favorites list calls. So for me, my favorites list is my husband, my parents, my brother, my sister, because in general, because of the hours I work and everything, they don't call unless it's an emergency. They text first to see if I'm available. So you can use that same feature, which means that your phone is going to be generally off and you're only going to hear a ring if it's someone that you really need to take a phone call from. So be more present. Another thing is that when I coach women on dating and they're struggling with trying to get out there, I tell them all the time that one of the best ways to meet people is to spend more time going out by yourself, but also making it clear that you are available and present for conversation. So if you have these worries about going out by yourself and looking dumb because you're alone and there's no one with you, I understand that fear. I used to have it before I actually started doing it. Go to a restaurant, go to a coffee shop, bring a book, or use your phone and go through it while you're drinking your coffee. However, take the time every 15 minutes or so to just look up and look around. Make it clear that yes, you have something with you to keep you entertained, but that you also don't mind and that you would even welcome conversation. So again, we're talking about ways to be of better service in relationships and how that can help you attract better relationships. My first tip was to listen more, which followed into my second tip, being more present. And also, finally, number 3, know the other person's background so that when you're having conversations with them and when you're dealing with a relationship, maybe you just started dating someone and you want to see how it's going to go, or maybe you're already in a relationship and you want to see if this person is going to be your purpose partner. Knowing the person's background is incredibly key here. Because I'll give you an example in my own life. My husband and I come from very different backgrounds when it comes to our parents' relationship situation. My parents have been married for more than 35 years at this point. And my husband, on the other hand, his parents are separated. One of the things that he and I had to learn was that when it comes to arguments, he and I had completely different views on having an argument based on our background. So for me, my parents argued all the time growing up. And I used to ask my mom about this, and she would say, Keisha, I don't always like your father, but I always love him. And because of that, he and I work things out. We work it through, and we come to a solution, or we agree to disagree, and we move on. My husband's family, on the other hand, again, his parents argued, and they are no longer together. With that in mind, you can see how we have different ideas based on our backgrounds. So when we would have arguments, as all couples do, he would see an argument as being incredibly serious and worried about what that meant for the future of our relationship. Me, on the other hand, I saw an argument as being serious because obviously that means that there's something that we have to work on and it's something that we have to improve. But I didn't worry about what it meant for the outcome of our relationship because it was like, okay, we had an argument. Let's figure out how it is that we are going to work this out. And tomorrow everything's going to be fine because you and I love each other. So it's all good. We're going to figure this out. Our relationship's going to be stronger for it. We're going to move on. So knowing that the two of us had different backgrounds meant that in the beginning, it was a bit of a struggle when we had these arguments, but we had to start learning how to look at things from the other person's perspective and to realize, okay, she is taking this seriously, just not the way that seriously would have meant to me before. And for me to be like, no, he's not taking this too seriously. He has a valid concern here. And as his first girlfriend and now wife, I have to do a better job of communicating to him that yes, I still love him, and that even though we disagree about this, I'm committed to us working it out. So there you go. 3 ways in honor of Armed Forces Day to be of better service in your relationships. Listen more, be more present, and really take time to understand the other person's background. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments or questions, just let me know in the comments section, and I will talk to you soon. Love you all. Bye.